Welcome back to our channel where we explore the often untold stories of history. Today, we're exploring into the heart-wrenching chapter of America's past, the untold facts about how enslaved black women were punished. It's a story of resilience, hardship, and the courage to stand against an oppressive system. So let's dive into these hidden truths together. Now let's think about what it would be like to be treated unfairly and suffering in silence. Enslaved black women faced some really tough situations, but some of them decided that they couldn't take it anymore and chose to stand up for themselves. But here's the thing. If an enslaved woman defended herself against physical or sexual abuse, she was in serious trouble. Why? Because those in power, the white enslavers, wanted complete control. They didn't like anyone challenging their authority, so when an enslaved woman tried to protect herself, it was like saying, "I won't let you treat me this way." That was a direct challenge to the people who kept her as a slave, and let me tell you, the punishments could be really harsh. She might have to endure physical violence, and sometimes things got even worse than that. Let's talk about how enslaved black women had to work really hard on plantations and in different jobs. They had to start at sunrise and keep going until the sun went down, often in really tough conditions. To make things even harder, they were told exactly how much work they had to get done, and they had to do it no matter what. Imagine this. A day after working non-stop, they were physically and emotionally drained. They were exhausted because they had to work so much, only to face punishment if they couldn't finish all the work they were told to do. For these enslaved women, it was a very tough reality. If they couldn't do all of their assigned tasks, they could be punished in different ways. Sometimes they were hurt physically, and sometimes they didn't even get enough food or rest. The fear of punishment was always hanging over them, pushing them to their limits. Imagine if you weren't allowed to learn anything, if you were deliberately kept from getting an education. This is exactly what happened to enslaved black women. Slaveholders were scared that if they learned to read or write, they might become too smart and challenge the terrible system of slavery. So if an enslaved woman even tried to learn how to read or write, or if she tried to teach someone else, something really awful would happen to her. Even if she had a burning desire to learn, to make herself and her community better, she wouldn't get the chance to do so. And this was because she risked getting into serious trouble. For black women in slavery, wanting to gain knowledge wasn't just about growing as a person. It was a way to stand up against the people who were keeping them down. But this kind of resistance was really dangerous, and they could be hurt even physically for even trying to learn and become stronger. Imagine being in a nightmarish situation where powerful people could do whatever they wanted to you, including forcing you into terrible things. Enslaved black women had to endure this horrifying reality, but some of them chose to say no to their enslavers' demands. It wasn't just an act of bravery, it was a desperate fight for their lives and their dignity. You see, refusing an enslaver's advances took an incredible amount of courage. Why? Because they knew it could mean death. Enslavers had the power to decide who lived and who died among the enslaved people. If they felt challenged, especially when it came to sexual exploitation, they could order someone's death. For these brave women, saying no to sexual advances was a way of showing tremendous courage, but it also came with an unimaginable price. It was a reminder of how far they were willing to go to protect their bodies, keep their dignity, and stand up for their humanity in the face of unspeakable cruelty. Picture this. You're subjected to unbearable pain day in and day out. Enslaved black women lived through this nightmare, enduring excruciating physical punishment. Their enslavers used cruel methods like whipping, branding, which is burning their body with hot metal, and even mutilation by causing permanent harm to their bodies as tools of control. These punishments weren't just about causing pain, they were about power and fear. Enslavers wanted these women to obey without question to ensure they remained in charge. They wanted them to live in constant fear, knowing that at any moment they could face this agonizing brutality. Now try to imagine the sheer horror of being whipped, feeling the relentless blows of beatings, the searing pain of hot metal on your skin, or enduring permanent harm to your body. For enslaved black women, this was their daily reality. These punishments weren't just about physical pain. They were meant to break their spirits and keep them in a state of submission that's hard to comprehend. Their suffering was truly unbearable. Picture this: you're taken far from your home, your family, everything you've ever known. Enslaved black women faced this heart-wrenching reality, but they carried within them the echoes of their diverse African cultures and traditions. These cultural connections were a lifeline, a way to hold on to their sense of self and community in the face of unimaginable cruelty. However, for enslaved women, protecting their African identity was a risky effort. Their enslavers were determined to erase any trace of their cultural heritage, seeing it as a threat to their control. This left black women in a painful predicament. If they dared to practice their African dances, sing their songs, or speak their languages, they risked violent punishment. Enslavers believed that these cultural expressions could ignite unity and resistance among the enslaved, something they dreaded more than anything else. So these courageous women had to make a gut-wrenching choice: defy their oppressors, to hold on to their cultural roots, or to yield to the demands of their captors. Despite the ever-present threat of punishment, many enslaved women chose to pass down their traditions secretly to their children. It was a way to stay connected to their roots even in the face of terrible oppression. Their silent resistance spoke volumes about the enduring power of culture and identity, even in the darkest of times. Picture a life where you have no say, where someone else tells you what to do all the time. Enslaved black women had to endure this every day. But some of them couldn't take it anymore, so they decided to take a big risk to be free. They knew it was dangerous. If they got caught trying to run away, they would be in big trouble. Slave owners used harsh punishments like beatings, torture, or even killing to show what happened to people who try to escape. But the longing for freedom was too strong. These brave women went on dangerous journeys, often at night, guided by the North Star. They looked for safety in hidden places, with people who wanted to help, or in groups that fought to end slavery. Some made it to freedom and felt the joy of being free, while others faced terrible setbacks, but their bravery and determination to break free from slavery show us how strong the human spirit can be, even in the face of really tough times. As we wrap up this journey through history, it's crucial to remember the strength and resilience of enslaved black women. Their stories may be painful, but they also remind us of the incredible courage it took to endure such cruelty. These untold facts shed light on the dark corners of the past, and by acknowledging them, we honor the spirit of those who resisted and persevered. It's a reminder that history isn't just about dates and events, it's about the people who lived through it. Let's carry these stories with us as we work towards a future built on justice and equality for all. Thank you all for joining us on this exploration of history, and if you found this video informative, then don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. We'll be back with some more fascinating stories soon, and until then, take care.